wanasema 50% of us bado tunanunua chakula, haswa sana ile chakula kama mahindi, you know, the staples, we still buy them. Na wanasema it is such a danger if you find that a lot of your money is actually going towards buying the staples. Na wacha niseme hapa wazee, I think we are also having some not so good practices and tendencies. Saizi watu wamevuna mahindi na sisi tunafuza sana, na taongelea kidogo wakulima, jinsi ya kulima, mbinu za kulima, mbinu za kisasa and so on and so forth. Huu mwaka mavuno imekuwa above average, maybe not quite there but above average. But there's also some bad practices. Ya kwamba wakati tunavuna mahindi hivyo, now we begin to sell it cheaply. We begin to sell it at 80 shillings. We begin to sell it at 70 shillings. We begin to sell it at a throwaway price. And sometimes, by the way, it is not because we must sell it. Sometimes it's just for purposes of maybe meeting some very short-term needs. Then the problem isn't there. The problem is that ukishauza hivyo, kesho kutwa utahitaji mahindi. And the problem is you will have to buy it at double the price. Now, that is where one of the problems is, because hiyo inamaanisha your household will be economically vulnerable. I would share 3 things about our focus in terms of economic empowerment. One of the things I would like to say is that one of our biggest focus around economic empowerment is training and capacity building. Pia mafunzo yana kazi gani? Kuna wengine wanapuuza mafunzo, lakini mafunzo ni muhimu sana. Je, ungependa kupanda sweet potatoes? Mafunzo ya jinsi ya kupanda sweet potatoes ni muhimu sana, kama lazima upate ile kitu inaitwa optimum production, mazao mengi sana. We train on financial literacy. Na vitu ambavyo vinafunzwa, sometimes there are simple things that can be ignored, but for instance, a culture of saving. Do we embrace a culture of saving? Or do we eat everything that we get and we say, bwana, tomorrow will cater for itself. Hii ambayo imekuja leo, wacha tungangane nayo. So that is the number one pillar at ADS Western around training and capacity building. We train farmers on producing various products. But we also ask ourselves, how do we train them on good agricultural practices so that when they produce in large quantities? The second pillar or pathway for us is the area of agribusiness. For us, yes, it's agriculture, but we want to step a notch higher and ask, how do we make it agribusiness? How do we make money from agriculture? I know for those who are seated here, 90% would be practicing agriculture. But it's also to ask you, do you make money from the farm? Yes, someone is saying yes. I know many others who would say no. For us, we look at agribusiness, agriculture as an opportunity for making money. Na kuna mimea mingi ambayo tumesaidia wakulima to try and explore. Soybeans, for instance, hapa Western region, we have promoted. We have a direct market in Nairobi with equatorial nut processors. In fact, sometimes we struggle to get farmers to produce soybeans. Sweet potato, we have been championing sweet potato value chain for quite some times. Hizi ambazo zinaitwa mboga za kienyeji, they are called high value vegetables, compared maybe to sukuma wiki and cabbages. We champion them a lot, and we train farmers on how to propagate them, how to produce them. And also part of what we are now trying to do, sababu wakulima by the way wana embrace, na wakisha embrace wanakuja wanasema, hii mazao imekuwa mingi, soko inapatikana wapi? And then what we are now doing is to be able to look for markets. Like now we have that market for soya, we have market for sweet potato. Tumesaidia wakulima kutengeneza a cooperative, for instance, pale Mumias, an opportunity for bringing their produce together and selling it together rather than mtu mmoja mmoja. But the third thing I would like to say is access to finance. Access to finance and financial linkages. That's one of the things that we also promote, explore and think about in terms of economic empowerment. Kitu kubwa sana, hindrance kubwa sana mara nyingi, napata pesa namna gani ya kuanzisha. I would like to do farming, but how do I get money? One of the things that we promote very closely in ADS ni kitu ambayo inaitwa Village Savings and Loaning Association. Maybe the word village we can always review. It doesn't necessarily need to be village, but it is all about savings and loaning associations. As I stand before you, I want to tell you that men are very poor in engaging in those kind of of chamas. Very poor. In fact, many of our groups, it is ladies, and they are very good at it, and they have actually benefited a great deal from it, because those associations are actually support groups, financial support groups, because we train them, and then they are able to do this table banking. They are able to do a bit of savings, and then they loan, they go and do 1 or 2 or 3 things. And you find that they are progressing as much as possible. A very, very important thing that we would like to also ask men to embrace. Ya kwamba sisi na kupata loan ya kufanya maendeleo, we are very poor. And probably because we are risk averse, we like to play safe. To maintain status quo. Hii kidogo inanitosha tu. Sasa nitafute mingi ya nini? And so on and so forth. And so you find that we are actually made vulnerable because of that. My prayer is that we can be able to sort of begin to step out as men and explore. By the way, taking a loan pia najua it needs a lot of discipline. Otherwise pia ukichukua loan na upitie upande ule mwingine, utapata tena inakuwa na shida sana. So it also requires discipline and training, and very important. Really, I thought that I could say those 3 things about how our blueprint, our engagement in ADS and economic empowerment. Training ni muhimu sana. Agribusiness is our area. Na tatu ni mambo ya access to finance and financial linkages.